that God is doing, that he is really, really trying to get our attention. He wants us to be able to understand how to be able to come into and tap into development, especially this year. This year is very important, very vital this year because of what the Lord is doing. He began to show me that many people are facing all types of temptation. All types of temptation is taking place. You have something where as though you have a wilderness experience where Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And then you have something in which we face all the time. We face this. We go through very much different trials of life. And it can be somewhat hard, but it's something in which we handle. If you notice Jesus, when he was in the wilderness, he was a man that understood the law and the word and his ability in God. If you notice, when he was in the wilderness, he was challenging the devil. The devil was really bringing about a heavy challenge, and every time he came back at him with the word, with scripture. Ultimately, this was something in which he mastered, and he became public after a while. After a while, he was able to come to the point that this was something in which it looked easy for Christ to get past that. Some people, it looks to be very difficult for anybody to go through something like that. But for him, he was able to master it. So ultimately, you see a man, Christ, the Son of God, going through something in the wilderness. However, he was still at a place where he had to face something even more difficult. Now he had to go to Golgotha, he had to go to the cross, in which the same man that was facing temptation, and he was able to overcome it. Ultimately, it was something in which he had the victory over. But then it was something that he was facing that was even more harder and stronger that he had to deal with. Because it looked heroic when he was in the wilderness. But when he got to Gethsemane, he didn't look quite heroic, because he said, if it be, go ahead, thou will let this cup pass for me. That didn't look heroic to me. It looked unheroic. It looked difficult. And so many of us can go through certain things and we can pass it all day long. Temptation comes, that's all right. But when you are faced with destiny, and you know you have to deal with it, you have to deal with that heaviness that you cannot pass. And it looks difficult, but you know you have to face it. It's easy for the little extra small things in which we can be able to quote scripture and say how strong we are when we're in the church. Go ahead. In the church. Oh, we can preach up a man strong when we're in the church. But when you face something, oh, you look heroic when you're in the house now. But when you're facing obstacles that looks bigger and it looks difficult for you to be able to handle, how are you dealing with that? My God. And so this is where we will begin to understand where God is taking us. He's taking you now to places, and he's taking you to an area and level that you are facing your destiny. And now it's easy for us to be able to understand, because Jesus had to deal with the fact that he was facing the devil. And so he had to be tempted, because the enemy wanted to deprive him from coming into the area so that he could be able to come into public view. But now he had to face to the point of being in the presence of God. And now he had to go to God and face God face to face. And be on a cross, which is difficult. So what do you do when you have to face yourself And you have to face yourself, and you have to face God, because you know that God has designed you to go through this, because this is your destiny. You got to deal with that spirit, and you got to deal with those issues, and you have to be able to deal with the areas in which you don't want to deal with. You got to deal with the personality issues. You got to deal with all of this stuff. How are you able to handle this? It's easy to be heroic when we can handle the easy stuff. But what if you got to go through something that's going to be so difficult and so heavy for you to face, and you can't deal with that, and you don't want to deal with that? You know that one thing that you say you don't want to deal with?
Lord Jesus.
That one thing, or 2, 3, 4, that you don't want to deal with, that actually was the place in which you have to face your destiny to be able to handle and master what God has. Sidebar. We can go to scripture real quick. Sidebar. So what I want to tell you is the fact that we begin to look at this story right here. We're talking about David. David was a man, he understood his responsibilities. He understood his duty, and he understood that he had to do something that a lot of people wouldn't want to even face, but he did that, and it wasn't nothing for him, because when you're under that type of pressure, you don't got a chance to think about what you do. You just do it. When you have one of your children and they're in the street and you see a car coming 100 whatever miles per hour really fast, what you going to do? You're going to stand there and think about it, or you're going to move off of impulse? Of course, we want to move off of impulse, because that's when heroics takes place, is when you're able to just act. And even when it comes down to worship, you got to be able to still act. You got to be able to still do it. In other words, you don't have time to think about anything else. I don't want to give my mind entertainment. I don't want to entertain my mind with things, because I don't want to gaze at it for too long, because that's just not where God needs for me to be. Because if I gaze at it too long, I'm going to miss what I'm supposed to do.